Welcome back YouTube, KRoad17 here with a brand new F1 2019 career mode video. We are at the legendary Monaco tonight for this race, and as you can see I'm doing a little housekeeping, just reading over our messages. Engine power, my nice major upgrade has failed, which you don't necessarily need at Monaco, but I mean I kind of wanted it. But as you can see, we're doing a little bit better with Toro and Williams, and starting to catch, I believe it's McLaren, on the R&D part of catching up and upgrading this car. Just looking over my contract, you can still see we are third to worst on the grid as it goes. But looking over some of my parts, you guys can see what I've upgraded so far. That has failed. Thank you so much for that. But our aero and our chassis are what needs the most work on this Alpha, so that's what I'm focusing on, especially the aero, which is really bad. But never mind that, we're going to jump into a little bit of practice and try to earn ourselves some R&D parts, or points that is, to upgrade this car. But as you can see, practice one was an absolute nightmare. The track was drenched with rain. We were on full wets, so I decided to give you guys a little idea of what this was like, trying to drive with no assist at Monaco on full set of wets in the downpouring rain. And it didn't go too well. As you can see, this is the race strategy, and I'm already 2 seconds off of my predicted race strategy pace. Yeah, it's not going to be the greatest idea to do this because the car engine is starting to wear. But so I still, continue to go on a little bit of wet weather practice. As you can see, though, doesn't do me any favors as I put myself out.
That was a big one. Confirm you're okay, please.
On to qualifying.
Here we are at one of the most difficult circuits on the racing calendar. Welcome to Monaco for today's Formula One qualifying. The competition is certainly heating up as we head into today's qualifying. Some impressive times showing up during the previous practice sessions. Anthony Davidson, do you think we can expect a similar level of skill to be showcased during today's qualifier?
Well, I certainly hope so. The competition here is extremely tight, and I think we might see some very close times today. Remember, practice isn't just about fastest lap times though, it's about optimization, it's about ratifying your decisions. No one's going to be sweating small mistakes here and there, but in qualifying that all changes. You need to nail that perfect lap or face the consequences, and believe me, that's a lot of pressure.
So I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I was not expecting much from the Monaco Grand Prix. Pretty much knew I was gonna start P20, but I decided to go out there and give it a lap anyways. We have roughly about 2 minutes to go in qualifying. I have Weber getting in my way, going up the hill. Thank you for that, Weber. Old teammate, we will see each other again, I'm sure. Probably in this race. No spoilers, I promise. But here we are coming down. It's this track it's a hit or miss. You can actually really love this track once you get into a rhythm, but you can absolutely hate this track once you get out of rhythm, like you just saw me tapping the wall just barely and giving myself a yellow.
With the front wing, you've taken some minor damage.
A yellow front wing. Thanks for that, Jeff. I already know that. But here we are coming down to the tight hairpin, right by all those nice yachts that are sitting there. This is actually. I mean, I like this actual race in real life, so I have nothing against that. I know a lot of people complain that it's boring. I don't think it's boring. I think it's very technical for the drivers, and it's very daunting.
Okay, take it easy on the car. We can't sustain this level of damage.
Thanks for that, Jeff. While I'm on a qualifying lap, my last one, I see if I can complete this, see where this puts us. DRS is open, going up the hill in Monaco, and we cross the line. Not happy with that run though, so I decided to go for a second one, as your downforce here isn't necessarily too important as long as you can get clean runs. As you can see, I'm still green, but as soon as we start hitting those corners, you can see the delta just shoots right down to the red. But still going green, still going green. I was actually kind of pumped up, but yeah, green, red, you can see it goes green, red, and now it starts going back to green. Up 2/10, now into 1/10, 2/10 again. I was feeling a lot better about this I guess you would say lap than I did the previous lap. So I'm going to push on and see if I can improve and get myself into Q2. But I'm currently P17. Can I do any better? Really make sure you don't want to lock the tires up there, but I did. I feel like I say that a lot, but going through, qualifying is complete. This is our last run. We're up 5/10. Can we make it any better? And I invalidate my lap. Of course, of all things, up 5/10 and you invalidate your lap. But that is qualifying over. Was not too happy with that. I was kind of kicking myself. Decided to finish the lap anyways. Cross the line, and we are stuck in, I believe it's P18. We got ousted from P17 to P18. But on to the race we go for the Monaco Grand Prix.
A proper road race, and in the true meaning of the word. That was how Mr. Monaco, the late great Graham Hill, once described this iconic event. The cars we drive have come a long way in the intervening half-century, but still we race on those same public roads beside the Mediterranean Sea. There's no victory more coveted than that of the Monaco Grand Prix. The astonishing Circuit de Monaco is, for all intents and purposes, virtually unchanged since its inaugural race back in 1929. The faster cars of today, though, ensure the 19 corners past the casino and along the seafront remain as thrilling as ever. A 2.1-mile lap here takes us around an entire country, yet never more than inches from the race-ending barriers. And with me as usual is Anthony Davidson. Now, I want to ask you about Lando Norris. As with all the drivers at this level, they have a lot of ambition, but Formula One's a daunting step up from any other series, so expectations are high right from the start.
That's right, it is a difficult environment to come into. In junior categories, you're competing against drivers with similar levels of experience, but some of these guys in Formula One have been there for over a decade. But I have to say, in this case, it's so far so good.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Vettel, Gasly, Max Verstappen and Leclerc, Raikkonen, Hülkenberg, Stroll and Kevin Magnussen, Perez, Grosjean, Lando Norris and Albon. Weber, Butler, Daniel Ricciardo, they've taken a grid penalty, and Rose, Sainz and George Russell ends our grid lineup. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
No heroics into Saint-Devote, please. We're in amongst the pack and just need to stay in one piece.
Never, Jeff. I would never do that. But I'm actually kidding. I've done it before. But we're going to dive into this. We're going to look at our strategy, a two-stop strategy, which seemed a little odd to me. So as you guys can see, I'll actually go in and edit that to a one-stop because I felt that that might be my only possible way of getting into the points and somehow making, you know, a loaf of bread out of nothing. But here we are, changing the strategy up, mediums to softs. You know, don't, excuse me, I get these tire compounds very wrong most of the time because they've changed them from 2018 when you had hyper softs and ultra softs. Now you just have hards, mediums and softs. But as you guys can see, I went for the hard compound onto the medium compound, and this is probably the first race you'll see that I underfuel the car, because I know that Monaco is a beast of a track to underfuel the car, because you can save so much fuel during the time of running in lean mix. But as you can see, still playing with my tire delta, wondering what's best. It's telling me it's gonna be 6 seconds slower, but let's face it, I'm already slower on this track, so 6 seconds added on to my time isn't gonna phase me too much. But like I said, you can see I underfuel the car, probably not by much, only by a lap. But we're gonna get into the Monaco Grand Prix, waiting for those 5 red lights. 4 lights, 5 lights, and we are go for the Monaco Grand Prix. And this actually had me a little bit nervous. I thought about it and didn't think about it, and then I thought about it and decided to make a move on the inside of, I think it was Ricardo and a couple of people. Now we're stuck behind Albon and Norris going up the hill, side by side with Albon. Grosjean right ahead, so we back off a little bit, let Albon have that space. And this is where I get a little greedy, not this corner, but the very next corner, heading down into the hairpin. I look for an inside move, and I dive past all those cars and pull myself up behind Weber. That move was probably illegal in a lot of guys, or the drivers' mindsets, but here we are, following Weber. We have Perez right ahead, we have Magnussen, so we are properly stuck into the Monaco Grand Prix here, lap 1. We are already in P13. Jeff congratulating me with a good start, and pushing down this hill, you want to make sure you don't run into the back of the gearbox of another car. Get that turn pretty correctly. Following Weber here, we're going to look for a move later on in the race. It's not the easiest track to make a move, I will tell you that. It's quite difficult, but Weber actually pulling a little bit of a gap on me already. And it's only, lap 1, so we're going to have to look at Grosjean behind us, who is in a more powerful car. Better aero, better chassis, better powertrain. So we're going to go up the hill and try to stick with Weber, maybe make a move on Weber, because our cars are pretty equal at this point. Pushing up the hill, we're going to jump back on board with lap 9. Nothing really has happened. Grosjean's still behind me. Weber's right in front of me. Just buying my time, maybe waiting for that pit stop for all the leaders and the guys ahead of me to make their first pit stop, as I'm only having to make one pit stop this race. Weber goes a little loose, so I might look for a move. Should I do it? Should I not do it? And I decide to do it, and I make a long lunge for that move and lock up and kind of squeeze myself in front of Weber. I get a warning for collision with Weber. That was probably just, probably not the safest move, but I get myself in front of Weber, and we are going to continue on here, finishing this lap of P9. Want to make sure you take this nice and easy. Keep Weber behind us while we're doing it. We have Perez right in front of us. Can we catch up to Perez? Pull that gap down a little bit. Maybe, set ourselves into P11.
Gap to teammate ahead is 6.7 seconds.
So can we not too far ahead of us? Near Perez. Can we catch up to him? Jump on.
Don't forget, box this lap.
Lap 18 here. This is the lap we actually make our pit stop. We are currently P7 from a lot of the leaders, jumping into the pits. So they've already taken their first pit stop. We're going to take our one and only pit stop here, as we dive into the pits very slowly, like I usually do. I promise you guys I work on it as much as I can. But we are into the pits, making sure that Alpha gets us in and gets us out. Away we go. Same as Jeff's is telling me, away we go, here we go. On the way out of the pits, and we have a slow one.
Complete. See these tires through to the end now.
And we almost lost it on the way out of the pits. A lot of the cars pass us. We have Grosjean passes. We have Norris passes, Sands passes. So we are currently in P16. Can we do anything with these tires to make them last until the end of this Grand Prix and pull in some points with a lot of these guys still making a pit stop yet in this race? Grosjean ahead of us. Can I pull that gap down a little bit? Maybe think about a move. There is a train of cars ahead of us, so we want to make sure we stick with these guys, but these guys are currently on the medium set, whereas we are on the hard, the slower compound of the tires. So it's going to be a little bit of a task for me to keep up with these guys. As you can see, I'm running standard mix, medium, ERS, just to try to keep that gap down. But these guys are slightly pulling away already just from the front straight. Locking those tires up is not doing myself any favors, but we're going to jump all the way to lap 29 here because nothing happened.
Weber ahead. Our gap to the car in front is 11.0 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 14 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1:19.3. You're losing around 1.6 seconds.
So Weber's still pulling a gap on us, even though he is on old mediums and I'm on pretty much a solid set of hards. We're going to jump on board lap 35 here.
Light rain will stay with us for at least 20 minutes, maybe more. Light rain is here to stay. Dries seem like the best tyre for now.
So it couldn't get any worse. We're currently P11 with only 4 laps left. Gasly was into the wall there in the left, so he's out of this Monaco Grand Prix. We are being caught very quickly by Weber.
Okay, the incident has been cleared. Let's get back up to racing speed.
We will do that, Jeff. Lap 38 of 39.
There's only 1 lap of fuel remaining.
Letting us know we tap our wing and it's now damaged. So we are actually a lap down in this race. This is our last lap of the Monaco Grand Prix. Can we keep Weber behind us and come across 11th? It is going to be a pretty easy ask, and we cross the line, finishing P11 in the Monaco Grand Prix.
Over. Take care of the car on the way in.
The Mercedes team pulled out a fantastic performance today. They should be proud. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes. So, let's review the drivers' standings. Valtteri Bottas passes his rival to take over the lead of the Drivers' Championship. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
I have to give it to Rose. They did a great job at getting the most out of their tyres without losing pace, something that's a very handy skill to have in modern day Formula 1.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
So Alfa Romero, a good solid race weekend. I get driver of the day, and Kimi actually scores his first points of the season for the team, so not too bad of a pull. So we're going to move on to the post-race interview.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. Your rivalry with your old F2 teammates seemed to get a little less friendly today.
Not at all. We're just playing. No, I'm just kidding. We are doing our best to come out ahead of each other out of respect, really.
That was a close race with Lucas. As former teammates, you must know each other's moves well.
We do, but we are still learning from each other all the time.
Lucas flew through the pack in that race. What's his secret?
Let's be a little cheeky to Alpha here. When you have a great team behind you, there is no need for, secret techniques.
You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you?
Really down to our pit stop strategy, but I tried to boost our aero since said our aero package is like nothing else on the track.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Thank you guys so much for viewing this. If you like this video, hit subscribe. It helps me so much. But until then, I'm going to leave you with the highlights of the Monaco Grand Prix.